Welcome to Inspiration MMA. Here, we're not just talking about fighting, but also about the steely mentality, courage, and fighting spirit of true fighters. Because in the world of MMA, every punch has a story, and every victory is born from relentless struggle. Let's get started. Dillon Danis' name has once again captured the attention of the MMA world. After a 6-year hiatus, IJEF finally returned to fight at Misfit Boxing 22 against Warren Spencer, becoming the organization's inaugural light heavyweight champion. This victory propelled him to the top of the UFC, but it seems the promoters are unsure about giving the controversial fighter, known for being more talkative than action, a chance. On the Mike Tika's podcast with UFC legend Demetrious Johnson, Danis revealed that he had offered to compete in the Ultimate Fighter event, but the UFC rejected the offer. Hunter Campbell said, "I'm definitely going to beat someone up in that house," Danis said. "I'm just looking for a thrill." Despite this, Danis remains optimistic, even stating he's ready to debut against lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. The conversation between Johnson and Danis initially focused on Johnson's past in the UFC and the arrival of Ben Askren. However, the atmosphere turned tense when Johnson suggested Danis start with a basic contract, which would earn him $10,000 for the appearance and $10,000 for the win. Hearing that, Danis immediately became enraged. "You're crazy! Give me Islam! Give me an easy opponent!" he said, full of emotion. Johnson casually refused, but Danis instead brought up the legendary incident after the Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor fight. "Islam jumped out of the Octagon and hit me in the head 7 times. I could have sued the UFC for millions of dollars, but I didn't," Danis said, as if seeking justification for challenging Makhachev directly. This isn't the first time Danis has tried to steal the limelight from a UFC superstar. In 2020, he challenged Jorge Masvidal to a street fight and arrogantly claimed he could beat him even with an injury. "I can take my leg off and use it to hit Masvidal," he said in an interview with Ariel Helwani. Not stopping there, Danis has also boasted of being able to beat Kamaru Usman and boxer Ryan Garcia. These strange claims are his trademark, always attract attention. Although many laugh at him this time, the name he mentioned was much more dangerous: Khamzat Chimaev. After the victory in Misfit Boxing, the recording in the dressing room showed Danis saying that he could beat Chimaev. "From those who have faced grapplers like me, I saw what happened when Khamzat fought Gilbert Burns," he said confidently, even claiming he was the only fighter in the world who could choke Khamzat Chimaev. The question made Demetrious Johnson laugh and be intrigued. In that episode of My Tika's, he said that if he ever made it to the UFC and fought Khamzat Chimaev, I'd put $50,000 on Khamzat. Johnson added that he would put the money in escrow once the fight contract was officially signed. "If Danis wins, he can take his money. I'm a man of my word." However, Johnson emphasized that Danis's road to getting there was a long one. He would first have to get a UFC contract, something that still seemed far from reality, and then hope to move up to middleweight to challenge Chimaev. He wouldn't even be guaranteed a contract, let alone fight Islam or Khamzat. Johnson said he was clearly a legend. Johnson didn't believe that Dillon Danis could match the power or mentality of a fighter like Khamzat Chimaev. But one thing was for sure: Danis knew how to turn the MMA world's attention back on him. The question now is, will the UFC give his big mouth a platform, or will he continue to be a sensational star outside the Octagon? Write your opinion in the comments column.